Hello. Friday. Friday. Friday is my favorite day. Friday. Friday. Friday is my favorite day. Well, of course, you already know that. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It is Friday, and it is Mojo Definer Friday on Quantum Heart Talks. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Always look forward to Friday at 6:00. It's been another amazing week, needless to say, and I hope it has been for you too. Lots of wonderful things going on, lots of not so good, depending on your perspective, and that's okay. We are human, and we are meant to be feeling all those feelings that we go through. And we are meant to be having those experiences so that we can hopefully learn and go to the next level, as they say. Anyway, so I am Tony Taylor. It was so interesting because I had a conversation a little bit earlier today when somebody said, "Hey, Coach TT." I was like, oh my gosh, there's a blast from the past. And I hadn't heard that for a really long time, and it really filled my heart. And I forget about that. A lot of times people have known me as Double T, and in the old golf world. And it's been a beautiful journey for me, and I've had an incredible life not just as an aspiring golf professional trying to be a tour professional, but an amazing career as a high performance golf coach through the whole peaks and valleys of the whole industry. And then, of course, as you all know, being online now and kind of expanding my message into more areas, more facets of life, because it turns out that, well, golf just mirrors life. And what we learned out there on the golf course, because it is a solo type of sport, self-reflection is huge. It's really all there really is, and that's really what life is. Life is all about that internal conversation, right? That whole conversation. So I don't know where you're joining me from, and I'm really appreciating that you're here. Oh, hi, Michelle. Hi, thanks for joining. I really appreciate you hopping in on the lives, and I especially even appreciate you very much and very grateful when you go to watch my replays. I've been yippee yapping and jabber jabbering and, blah, blah, blahing for for about 4 years now on my Friday nights. And I've received some wonderful messages from so many people around the world. And as I've talked about before, we have so many people in our lives that come in and out of our paths, right? And I talked about this last time about loyalty has an expiration date, kind of like food, some people are there for a short time, some people are there for a long time. And it's a fascinating journey as you learn and you're going through your life. And I'm just going to touch on that real quick, that I made the comment, do you live in a bubble? And the reason why I made that comment is because one thing that I've learned, I guess I have what I call a little bit of gypsy blood in me. Growing up, I couldn't get out of my town fast enough. And yet people I went to school with, they've never left. Never quite got that, but that's okay. Because again, we all have our own idea of what our life is meant to be or experience. So for me, it was like I had this tremendous calling to see the world. I had this tremendous calling, this pull in my heart, this vision in my head to see the world and to meet individuals around the world. And golf gave me that platform to do that. So I'm very blessed that way, that that part of my life opened doors that I never would have seen if I didn't play the game of golf. I've lived halfway around the world, and it's been amazing. Oh, hi. Hello. Thanks for joining. Thanks, everybody, again, for joining. I don't always see the name, so I apologize if I don't call out your name, because I think it's really great to be able to get called out, because I do appreciate you hopping in. Oh, Miss Brooke. Oh, thank you, sweetie. That's really sweet of you. Anywho, what I wanted to say is, do you live in a bubble? Now, the reason why I brought this topic up, and I hope I don't get sidetracked, because you know how I go off on tangents sometimes. I might start crying. I hope I don't, because I get very emotional about a lot of things, because, you know, I'm a very emotional person. I had a really tough conversation earlier. I think I am going to get a little emotional. I didn't think I was going to, but I think I am. And this is why I said, do you live in a bubble? When I was in my 20s and I got to travel the world, I saw things that were spectacular. I mean, absolutely spectacular. I got to dine with kings and queens, top politicians, bankers, movers and shakers of countries. Because when you go to live on the other side of the world, these are the people that play golf, the privileged. And as you're traveling between the golf course, the country club, the hotel, you get to see what happens between the hotel and the country club. And you see a side of life that, from a young Canadian woman, is quite shocking. I didn't grow up privileged at all, actually. Actually, quite the contrary. I have two parents that worked extremely hard. And that's what I grew up. That was the mindset that I grew up with, is that you have to work hard for what you want, really hard. We're not going to get into that little topic, but the point is that I was safe, I was loved, and I knew where home was. But when you travel the world, you see other things that come as quite a shock. And so we're in a world right now where there's a lot of shocking things going on, tremendous amount of shocking things going on. And I think some of you know my viewpoint on that. There's no judgment. There's no criticism. No guilt, no shame, no judgment, for sure. Because we all need to awaken in our own way, and we all need to be able to know when that moment comes. And as a coach for so many years, my purpose was to open a path, make a way for the person who was with me to be aware of other options, other information. That's what being a good coach is, a good guide is to have not telling somebody what to do, not forcing somebody into, not manipulating somebody into something, not brainwashing programming of any kind. It's all about self-discovery and self-realization. But how do you do that? How do you do that in such a way that somebody is willing and open to have the courage and the trust to travel down that road that not everybody else is talking about? And let me tell you, and many will tell you, all my clients will tell you, I was not your typical coach. I didn't follow the norm. Gee, shocking, right? Really shocking. And the reason why I didn't follow the norm, why? Because my experience in life has shown me that there are many paths to get to the end goal. And not each path is suitable for each person. That's why I'm always looking for new tools in my tool chest. Okay? And yeah, we all have unique roles, don't we, Michelle? Thank you for that. So The reason why I bring this up is because I've been trying and being very open-minded and with a very open heart, and you know where I stand on that. It's all about authenticity and heart-mindedness. And I have been lambasted privately on a few occasions from people that I would have really thought would know who I am, the kind of person that I am. But apparently, when somebody gets really stuck in ideology, it's a very difficult thing to shift. I'm not the one who reaches out, much like my clients. My clients came to me. And I stand there and I listen and I listen and I listen. And I find the best path. And I open a door and I make it visible. So what I'm doing is I'm creating awareness that there could be another way, another alternative, more information that will allow you to get unstuck. And yet, in that world, I was considered a genius. Isn't that interesting? That I could unstick, unblock, find that je ne sais quoi for that person that was looking for that one thing to get them where they needed to go, to feel aligned, to feel balanced, right? I had that because I listened and I was open and I knew that through self-discovery, that is the best way for that individual to hold on to something that could serve such a greater purpose than just a Band-Aid. And you know, I talk about that all the time. Get into the root, get rid of what isn't serving you so that we can really start to make a clear path where we're going. The bubble, as I refer to, is that we get really stuck in that comfort zone because we're not willing to expand outside of it. And for some people, that's not possible because they're not even willing to leave the town that they live in, let alone a comfort zone, which I guess is exactly the same thing. I don't know. Depends on your perspective, I suppose. I, on the other hand, I think there was a constant rip in my comfort zone because I couldn't get out fast enough and see more places and meet more people than possible. So, and what I'm trying to say is that if somebody is sharing information, you know, just be a little bit open-minded. Just have an open heart. I talk about this all the time. Fixed mind versus, you know, a closed versus an open mind. A closed heart versus an open heart. We will not come together. We will not fill the divide until we can stop getting away from the emotional lashing that's going on. Isn't it interesting that I was creating this amazing awareness and magic? And when I say magic, the magic was new information that I was showing my client. I was giving them the opportunity for a different perspective, and they were willing to do that, but not always. Isn't that interesting? They're paying me for a new perspective, and yet they would fight me. And all I have to say to them is, how's that working for you? Okay? I'm not here to convince anybody of anything at all. Okay? Not here to convince anybody of anything. But what I'm asking is, right now, in this moment, in this time, in the environment that we're living in right now, why are so many of you so quick to say, how dare you come up with something else that doesn't meet my ideology or my belief? I'm not trying to convince you of anything. Just like I never tried to convince my clients of anything. I just opened the door and said, It's there if you want to learn something new, right? It's not about right and wrong. That's the biggest problem. It's not about right and wrong. It's about balance. It's about alignment. It's about, in some cases, it is right and wrong. And so, let's face it, in some cases, what's going on out there. But the fact remains that why is it that when somebody's ready to say, here's something to look at, why would you come at them with another title when it's really about sharing something that may be exactly what you need to understand all sides of the situation? I'm only referring back to what I did as a coach, Coach TT. And Coach TT was all about empowering people. That's what it was about. And you cannot be empowered. Thank you, Michelle. You cannot be empowered when you don't have a bigger perspective of everything that's going on, and you don't take the time to listen to what somebody else is struggling with. And so I'm asking you tonight, do you live in a bubble? Do you live in a bubble? And can you open your heart and open your mind just a little bit to get out of the bubble and just to listen? Because what I'm about is about making your life, raising the quality of your life. I'm not about fear mongering and fear of missing out and, all the bull crap that you see online, because there's a lot of it. Sell this, sell that, shove it down your throat. Oh, you're missing out. I'm so rich. I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 blah. Okay. There's so much unauthentic people out there. It's almost, it just makes you barf, really, much like what we're seeing on television, which of course I don't watch anymore because it's, useless information. And I know you, and I know all of you that follow me, you're amazing individuals. And I'm grateful for your support. And I thank you for your perspective. I've had some wonderful conversations with some of you that are on different sides of the coin. And I like it. I like it because it challenges me and it makes me dig more, and it makes me say, well, maybe I did get that wrong, or maybe I am going in the wrong direction, as it kind of pulls me back. Kind of like what I was doing with my clients, kind of giving them a little bit of guidance, giving a little bit of more information, letting them explore, letting them self-discover, to really tap into what works for them. And we as a society, we need to really start tapping in to understanding that we are more alike than we are separated. Okay? We are all connected. We are all connected. And you've heard me say it over and over again. This separation is just flat out. And I know I said that there's no such thing as right and wrong, but flat out in this particular case, it's flat out wrong. Flat out, unequivocally wrong. We are human, and we were never meant to be separated from each other. There is more damage going on, crawling into your bubbles and all aspects of bubbles. This of us is a bubble, this is a bubble, and this as a bubble. It's all a bubble, and it has to stop. It has to stop. If we are going to thrive, and I mean all of us thriving, we must come together. And what really hurt a lot was listening to a young teacher that just got a new classroom today, and listening to her as I could only offer a shoulder because she had a 14-year-old girl that wants to commit suicide. That's hard. 14 years old. She's not the first one I've heard that. This is a young teacher. She's 22 years old, and she's taking on a classroom of young kids in high school that are suffering, totally suffering because of this. Suicides have gone up 900%. You want to talk about numbers? Talk about those numbers. And we as a community are all guilty, crawling into our bubbles. Over what? So I ask you, is the bubble really worth it? Awareness. Awareness. Are you willing to open your mind, open your heart, open your bubble? This is the only way we're going to get through this. This is the only way we're going to get through this. Sorry for the heavy message. I'm just hoping that somebody out there will hear it and understand that if we can change one life, it's going to create a chain reaction for others. So I'm going to do my best to lend that young teacher a hand and support her the best I can. And I hope you will too. I hope you'll reach out to your community, reach out. And if somebody is sharing something different than what you believe, because you know they're in fear. I know so many of you are in fear, but fear is an illusion. The only thing that is real is love. That is it. Fear is an illusion. It's a social conditioned program from all the things that we've experienced since the day we took our first breath. Are you ready to unlock the chains? Because love is all there is. Love conquers it all. But it starts with you. Each one of us, it starts with us going inside and unlocking the garbage that has held us down for so long. And we need to make it stop. And we can all do that individually. And then we are going to join hands and join hearts so that we can all raise the mojo vibe and change this world, because we all can do it. Yes, it does. It ripples, doesn't it, Michelle? It ripples. Thank you. So thank you, everybody. I love you. I'm sending you a big virtual hug. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you listening to my babble every Friday. And I'm in awe. I'm in awe of 2020. This is our moment. This is our moment for the whole world to awaken. No more the chosen few deciding for the rest of us. We're done. So with that, you know what I'm going to ask? Let's go unlock those chains, unlock those shackles. Activate that power source within you, your mojo, so that we can go play with real joy, peace, love, freedom. The abundance, the unlimited abundance, which is our birthright. And share it. Get out of the bubble. Open your mind just a little bit. Please just open your mind just a little bit. Do not get sucked into the programming that's coming in on the television and the social media biased. Please dig just a little bit more. Please. Thank you so much. I just really appreciate all of you so, so much. Thanks, Michelle. I really appreciate you too very much. You know I love you. So, thank you, everybody. Go have yourself a beautiful evening. I really do appreciate you, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you, Mojo Definers. Thank you so much. Namaste.